Hi everyone, this is Lynn and you're watching Crazy for Crafting. It's now time for another tutorial and this project is called Scalloped Gift Box. It's 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. So it will hold your 5.5 square cards, or you can put dividers in it like this and use it as a candy box. So let's get started. Okay, you need to start with 2 pieces of cardstock. I'm going to be using the Blushing Bride and the Early Espresso together. Blushing Bride's going to be the top of the box, Early Espresso is going to be the bottom. The top of the box measures 8 3/8 inches by 8 3/8 inches. You're going to give it a 1 1/4 score all the way around, and this one is 7 3/4 inches squared, and you're going to score this one at 1 on all 4 sides. So we'll get started with this one, and you just go 1 1/4. Okay, easy enough. And this one, the bottom is just 1 inch on all 4 sides. And just keep turning. Now, the hardest part of this is on the lid, and like I said, it's the hardest part, but it's not that hard. Okay, we're going to put our cutter in, and we're going to go to the 2.5 inch mark, because we're going to cut a window in here. And then we're going to take this and go up to the 2.5 inch mark, push down, and come down to the 5 1/4 mark. Okay, you're going to lift it up, put it at 2.5 again, start at the 2.5 inch, and go and meet that line. Okay, now snip and snip. Now, you can always keep this for later, but this is basically your box. And how we get it scalloped will be real easy. First of all, we're going to cut these corners, cut up there just on one side, like this, and then completely the opposite side and do the same thing. Okay, and then we're going to cut up on this side 1/4 inch and cut that 1/4 inch off and 1/4 inch off there. So that all you have are these tiny 1 inch square tabs, because we are going to scallop the edges. Okay, now we're all ready to scallop the edges. I'm going to use border scallop trim, and what you're going to do is where these are, you're going to fold them and place this in here. Now, to get it even on both sides, you have to even this out on both sides as much as you can. And then you press, then you move it down, and you press, and you move it down, Then you go to the other side, line it up with the scallops, and press. Line it up again. Okay. See, you come out just about the same on both sides. Now you're going to do this on all four sides. Okay, here we've got all four sides done. Now you're just going to fold these in and use your fold folder to give it a super good crease, because this is going to be the top of your lid. Okay, now we're going to take a piece of acetate window and put in here. You just take a piece of acetate. Now this is a 3 1/4 square. So what you're going to do is make this about 4 inches. Okay. And I'm going to put this on with some snail. But the first one I made, I put it on with the sticky strip, and that's really what you want to use because it is a box. Okay, now you've got this part, and same thing, we'll put snail on these. I recommend you use sticky strip, but for video purposes this is much quicker than trying to cut all that sticky strip. Okay. Okay, so now you have your scalloped edges and your window. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing for the bottom. Is just clip it, turn it, and clip it again. Now there's no cutting, there's no scalloping, there's no nothing you have to do on this part. You're just going to fold it, and you're going to tape this one together. So it's going to be just like the top, except without the scallops. But what I'm going to show you here is on this top, I made some little flowers. And I'm sure everybody in the world has seen how to make these. But just in case you haven't, you just take a piece of paper with a design or without. You can make it solid. This is a 1 inch, and that's what made these little ones. This one is 8 layers, and it's the scallop punch. And this is our 1 inch punch. Then what you do is you just take all the little pieces. Now, for these little tiny 1 inch ones, I only use 5 or 6. I don't use 8. Okay, then you straighten them out. Then what you do is you put 5 of them together, punch a hole in the center, like this. I use a 1/16. Use one of your little tiny brads, and then you start each layer squishing it. Okay, so now I made the one out of the large scallop, and these are out of the 1 inch circle. And I think that's big enough. But I think I may just, I'll put them down there. Now the other thing is I want to put a piece around the sides, and that's going to be a piece of 1/4 inch grosgrain ribbon in espresso. Okay, we can move these for now because we're not finished. We're just going to take this, and I just run the snail on the one side of it. I'm just going to put this kind of in the center and run my fingers across like that. Can you see that? Down, run my fingers across. Again. I hope that's coming out even. It's hard for me to do this backwards. And again. And then, when I get to the end of it here, I just cut off a little piece. And then, oh, I did a pretty good job. It tucked right over. Okay. So now you've got that going around it. Then what you do is you take some dots and you stick a couple of glue dots on it and just sit it on the box like that. Yeah, get a glue dot and put it on this one and sit it there. And another one. Okay. Now, for the final step of the box, we're just going to take some more grosgrain ribbon, and this time I want it not to be the Blushing Bride, but something more on the line of my fingernails, I guess. So I'm going to use some Regal Rose. Okay, so now I've got, oh, I don't know, probably about 20 inches. And I've got this thing I made. Now, I saw it on, I've seen it on the website all over, and you can order one. But I made my own. And I want to make, oh, let's see. I want to make my bow, yeah, right here is good enough, about 2 3/4 to go right there. So what you do is you leave yourself a tail, and I want a long tail because I want it to run down the side. And you bring it around, and I've got one loop on either side. Now, you use a longer piece, you can make as many loops as you want. Then you go down through the center hole here, and this is always the, okay, pull it through the back. Okay, leave this up. Make sure on the back that this is straight because it goes through those two legs like that. And see, this is actually going to be the front of your bow. See how nice that is? You bring it up between those two legs and you bring it under. And you take it like that and you start pulling just this one side that you brought through. Okay? Now what this little thing does is it makes it, can you see that? Makes such a perfect little bow. Okay, now what we're going to do with this is we're going to take a couple more dots. You can use dimensionals, but I don't want this popped up really. I just want this laying close. So, okay, 1, 2, 3, and I want this to lay like this with the dots, and you can always go inside and push. Now, I'm going to take this side, take a little dot up high, put one down a little lower, okay, and bend that a little, and then think I better go ahead and cut this side. And then just, there we go. Put a little ripple in it. We're going to do this to the next side. One to hold it down, one to make the ripple. And you'll do this. Okay, this is actually the My Sweet Pea Designer Series paper, and there's quite a few of them. Let me see if you can see it here. Okay, it's got several colors, but I liked it because of the like chocolate color. I thought, you know, it matched the bottom of the box and stuff. But then it's got a little bit of, I'm not sure, but I think it's so saffron. And then it has also some like pretty in pink on it too. So then you've got, you know, they're a little bit lighter colors than what I'm using, but they still coordinate with the, you know, using the pink and the chocolate colors. Okay, and what I did was, because across the top of this, you know, it's a piece of paper, and on the top is just these flowers. But in my digital studio, you can take that part that's on the top and copy it and put it all the way over the paper, and that's what I did. And then all I did was print it out and used my scalloped punch and my 1-inch circle punch and cut all these out. Now, you can see this is not the heavy duty paper, and it's only done on one side because you really don't need to do it on both sides because you don't really see it. You can, but you actually would have to wait for this to dry because this is really, you know, just your everyday copy paper. And then, but it's so much easier to crunch up, see? And so not only can you keep your theme and not worry about it and not do all that extra work of trying to spritz it and break the fibers in it to make it do this. Yeah, if you've got the time, I guess you can, but I like quick and easy, and so I like to do it this way. But it's just something else I wanted to show you, that you can use my digital studio and papers, and you can order extra paper packs for your digital studio, and it really comes in handy. You can make your own, you know, hybrid cards with it. Sometimes if you're missing a stamp or something, you might have it in your digital studio, and you can make it, you know, into the size punch you want and print it out if you don't have that stamp set, and use your punch to cut it out. So that was just a little tip. If you're interested in any more, I can do a video on showing you exactly what to do in my digital studio. But for now, I just wanted you to see that. So now we'll just go on to the rest of it. Okay, now that the bow's done, what do you think? Now, if you want, you can take and put some design around here. You could even, if you really want to get fancy, I guess scallop this out, but I think it would be a little hard to, you know, get the scallop in there. But I think that's really pretty on the ends. And then here's the bottom of the box, and you put this beautiful lid on it, and you've got this beautiful, beautiful scalloped lid. Now, you can do a couple of things. You can take this and open it, and I just made this like plus sign thing, and you can put it in your box like this, and you can have 4 equal compartments to put something in, or you could make it, you know, as many you want. Or what I did was I decided to make some really cute cards. And I did the same thing. I used the Blushing Bride. This is the envelope. And I can tell you how to make those. And then I scallop this, leave this. And this is just made by one of those old 6x9 booklet envelopes. But the card is 5.5 by 5.5. Here's just the Regal Rose. There's the Blushing Bride. I put Regal Rose around. And since this is a big card, I used the big scallop die. And then I used the Happy Birthday. And this makes just, it's kind of a plain but sweet birthday card. And they fit right in the box like that. And it will hold, oh, half a dozen of them. And voila. So, there you go. I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you soon. Bye.